If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. If you could see you through my eyes instead of your ego, I believe you'd be surprised to see that you've been blind. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Yeah, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello there, everyone, and welcome to At You and I. I'm your host, Megan Bartles, and we have an exciting show for you tonight. We have an interview with Katie Wohlford and Meg Bauer. Thank you, two, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Katie, you have studied abroad in both France and Spain. Can you tell us a little about why you were there?
I was there for a school project back in high school. It was my junior year in high school. Spent 3 days in Spain and 3 days in France, and it was a lot that we got to do and a lot we got to see, but it was really fun regardless.
Awesome. I've also been in the country.
Nice.
Have you always been interested in these countries, or did you just learn this language for the trips?
I never learned Spanish, but I did learn French for about 5 years before I went. So when I got there, I actually was pretty fluent, and I surprised myself with how fluent I was. So that was super great to notice.
You're lucky. I learned German and I wasn't fluent. Do you have a favorite word or phrase in French? And then can you tell us what it means?
Right now, because of the finals and everything, it'd be j'ai mal au tête, which means I have a headache.
I feel that. Out of all the famous places you visited, which one has stuck with you the most?
Probably, I'd have to say the Eiffel Tower, because one time it was late at night and we had just gotten onto the subway, and as soon as we went past, it started to sparkle at midnight, and it was the prettiest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
That sounds beautiful. So earlier you mentioned that this was a study abroad trip. Well, here at UNI, there is an interesting study abroad program known as the 2+2 for people interested in studying in France. We sat down with Elizabeth Swansiger, professor in the Languages and Learning Department and head of the program, who told us a little bit more about it.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Elisabeth Swansiger. I'm Elizabeth Swansiger, and I'm Associate Professor of French at the University of Northern Iowa. And I'd like to talk about our 2+2 program in the French department. It's a program where students do 2 years at UNI, the LACs, which are now becoming Unify, and then 2 years in France, and you earn 2 degrees. So you actually get a bachelor's degree from the University of Northern Iowa in French language studies, and a licence lettres et arts from the Université de Franche-Comté in Besançon, France, which is our sister university in France. This is a very unique program. It's the only program that I actually know of in the United States. So we are attracting students from across the country. It's a pretty new program. We currently have a student from Colorado who's completing the program. Her name is Emily. We also take students in the other direction, so to speak. So we have students from our university in France coming to UNI to do the same. So that is just a little bit about our unique program. I do think that it's really important for students who study languages to spend some time in the target language country. And this is spending 2 years in France is a really great way to make sure your French is top-notch. And it gives students who do the program an opportunity to become fluent in French, proficient in writing and speaking, and it opens doors to doing lots of different kinds of jobs in the professional world.
Hello, my name is Juliana, and I'm a student at the University of Northern Iowa, currently working towards my French 2+2 degree. I came to France as a part of this program in September 2019 and have had a blast ever since. I will be telling you a little bit about the town and my experience living in Besançon, as well as the program of studies that I chose to do here. Essentially, as we get here, we can choose between a degree in Sciences du Langage or Lettres Modernes, which should be the equivalent of linguistics and modern languages. I chose the degree in modern languages given that the classes seemed closer to the program given to me at UNI. Before coming to France, I finished a Bachelor of Arts in Mathematics, a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry, and a Bachelor of Arts in Philosophy, all at UNI. I'd like to tell you a little bit about my homestay experience. One of my favorite experiences and best decisions before coming to France was definitely staying with a French family. During this experience, I was able to be truly culturally immersed into the French culture. I woke up to practice French as we shared breakfast, and at the end of the day of classes, we shared dinner. This gave me the opportunity to practice a more familiar French. I was also able to share other experiences with them as we went together to various events and trips. It was due to this experience that I was able to considerably improve my French very quickly and gain confidence in the language. I would say it was especially nice for me to share some time with them during my first few months in France due to the company they gave me during the cultural shock phase. They were a big company during this time and helped me tremendously in the conquest of understanding French bureaucracy and mostly finding patience to withstand the amount of senseless paperwork you have to do when you get here. But no worries, it will be okay. I will try to walk you through the process. One of my favorite things when I got to Besançon was the activities proposed by the ESN, Erasmus Student Network. Not only do they propose trips to explore the city and other cities in the region, and sometimes in other countries, but also a lot of events like movie nights, theater nights, competitions, kitchen clubs, where you get to cook delicious food from other countries around the globe and eat together with students that come from those countries. In fact, you can also propose a recipe of your own, where you and other people from your country can cook together with the students that want to attend and enjoy some cultural exchanges. They also propose conversation partner program and other events on campus and downtown next to the faculty. Perhaps my favorite activity with the ASN was to get involved with the association to help other international students as they were coming in. They also proposed a sort of class that you can actually get credit for, where you get to do some volunteering work with multiple associations and work with multiple groups of people, including old, young, handicapped people. I would say that I found that this was one of the best things that I did when I got here. It was through this experience that I got involved with other associations that care about the environment, propose activities for old people, and do other work that I am personally passionate about. Through this volunteer work, I feel I got very much involved with the community here and the different problems different parts of the community face. It was an extremely rewarding experience through which I gained many friendships that I will forever cherish.
Do you have any advice for students who are interested in learning another language or studying abroad?
For learning another language, if you want to learn, you've got to keep on it. Practice makes perfect. Right. I kind of fell out of learning my French, so I'm not as fluent as I used to be, but it's also like riding a bike. Mm-hmm. You'll eventually pick it back up again. And as for studying abroad, if you want to, take that chance. I mean, it's such an amazing opportunity, and you'll probably never get it again.
That's very true. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before we move on to Meg, we have an important public service announcement.
If you're watching this with your friends, you'll probably make a joke.
Because you know what you feel on the inside
isn't what you want people to know.
If you have to pretend to be happy,
find someone you trust and tell them.
If you get mad at things and you don't know why, or have thoughts about hurting yourself,
find someone you trust and tell them.
You are never alone when you share.
Seriously, people care about you.
It's okay to not understand what you're feeling.
And it's easy to think that you're all alone.
But you don't have to be.
You're never alone when you share.
Don't be ashamed to tell someone you trust what you're feeling.
You're not alone.
You are not alone.
Find someone you trust and tell them.
Tell a parent.
Tell a teacher. Tell a brother or sister.
Or just tell a friend.
You haven't done anything wrong.
Talk to someone.
Talk to someone.
It's how things get better.
Welcome back. Now, Meg, you are a plant and animal connoisseur. What kind of plants and animals are you interested in?
Oh gosh, it's hard to kind of narrow that down. I personally have a variety of different animals that I've adopted over the last couple years. I own dogs, cats. I raise pigeons and chickens in my backyard as part of a tiny urban homestead. I have a 55-gallon fish tank, and currently I am taking care of 6 different species of tarantula.
That is amazing. So you have 3 types of spiders, a salmon pink bird eater, Arizona blonde, and a Mexican fireleg. What is it like? What is it like taking care of them?
Honestly, tarantulas have such a bad rap thanks to Hollywood and popular media. Everyone portrays them as sort of bloodthirsty, very aggressive, very fast-moving, and the reality is, at least for the species up here in North America and South America, they're totally the inverse. They are commonly referred to in the pet trade as pet rocks because they are more likely to hide from humans that they don't want anything to do with than they are ready to bite you. So they're very sweet and very tame, at least the species that I have. Their venom is not medically significant, so even if they do become agitated and accidentally bite, it's not going to send me to the hospital.
That helps cool me a little bit. We have a couple pictures of your plants and animals.
Sure.
Let's take a look.
Okay, so up right now is a picture of my salmon pink bird eater. As you can see, down in the lower corner, there was a bottle cap for scale. It's not very big. Here's a couple of terrariums that I have set up for my Arizona blonde and my Mexican fireleg. I enjoy using natural materials and putting plants in. There's a close-up of my Arizona blonde. Here's some of my houseplants at home, along with my cat, Luna. Here's a snake plant and a Hoya, 2 species that are excellent for beginners, by the way. Okay. And a jar full of water with a couple of Monstera cuttings.
Nice.
Also, in my spare time, I have volunteered with the environmental science program at DMAC Urban to take care of bees on campus.
That's awesome. I'm more of a succulents kind of plant myself, but those sound interesting. So out of all your plants, which ones are the easiest to take care of and which ones are the hardest?
Well, you know, for me, I struggle with symptoms of ADHD, so anything that can go for longer periods of time with a bit of neglect are usually the ones that do very well for me. Things like succulents can be a little bit tricky for people who are paying too much attention and tend to overwater them. I find that they do rather well for me. Hoyas, which are semi-tropical, but they have a lot in common with succulent plants, can go for a while without water, and they flower. The flowers smell amazing, so those are my go-tos.
Awesome. So if you were a plant, which one would you be?
Gosh, that's a hard choice. Do I want to be a subterranean orchid species and hide from people? Do I want to be a carnivorous plant and eat bugs? I think I would have to go with mint, just because mint flourishes everywhere. If you drop a couple mint seeds on the pavement, it's going to find root someplace, and they provide flowers for native wildlife, and they make really great mojitos.
That sounds interesting. Do you have any advice for people wanting to look into getting pets or plants?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say first to really look at what kind of lifestyle it is that you lead, how much time you spend at home versus how much time you spend out of the house. Like, say if you are going abroad as part of a study program, probably not the time to get into keeping a pet, but if you're at home, you can look at things like temperature differentiations from room to room, what kind of seasonal lighting you have, and kind of use those to gauge what sorts of varieties of plants and animals would do really well in your environment.
That's awesome. Thank you for that great advice.
Sure.
Well, it was fun talking to you. And now on to this week's brand new segment called Roomie Rumble with the host William Tribute. But before that, here's an important public service announcement.
We all make choices. When it comes to alcohol, kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, have a seat for a second. Remind me about that party again?
Alex is just
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. They want guidance and honest answers to their questions. And it makes a difference when the message is consistent and part of everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
And now it's time for Roomie Rumble.
Alright, I'm Dr. Pepper, and this is Roomie Rumble. Today we're brought by Bob and Bill, and their two roommates living in the dorms on the UNI campus. Their friends and neighbors have brought up some occasional arguments that have led into some physical altercations. Let's give a warm welcome to Bob and Bill. Alright, first of all, enough of that. Say you're sorry right now.
I'm sorry.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Now thank me.
Thank you.
Alright, so thanks for joining us, guys. It's a pleasure to have you on. So, Bill, can you tell me a little bit about what's going on?
Well, I mean, first of all, he will eat all of my Doritos, but he'll just leave me the crumbs.
Okay, whoa. You said when I first moved in that the food was free game, and how do you even know that I was the one that ate all the Doritos?
If it wasn't you, why are there a bunch of cheesy fingerprints all over your bed sheets?
Why are you looking at my bed sheets?
Settle down. Sit down. You don't leave that chair. And neither do you. Alright, so let's back it up. Bill, Bob mentioned you said something about sharing food. How has that changed?
Well, it changed when he took my last Pepsi, took one sip of it, and then left it to mold.
Hey man, I forgot. I had to brush my teeth. It's no biggie.
Oh, it's no biggie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's no biggie?
Uh-huh.
Oh, how about you tell them about the popcorn kernels? I'm still finding them in my laundry.
Laundry, man?
Yeah, they're still in the laundry.
Well, I see it just as a minor inconvenience. I feel like it's something we can just laugh about instead.
Yeah.
Laugh?
A little bit.
How about you tell our entire dorm to laugh? When he, at 3:30 in the morning, forgot to put water in the Easy Mac and made us all evacuate.
Can you stop bringing up the past?
The past? It was this morning!
Well, I am tired of your malarkey.
I bought it!
Alright. No, we're not doing this. We're going to shake hands and we're going to have fun. Alright? Shake hands. Alright. I did my job. I'm getting paid. That's it for Roomble Rumby.
Welcome back. We have an extra special guest here with us, Daquan Campbell from We Arose. Thank you for coming today, Daquan.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yes, so I am the founding farmer and local food program leader with We Arose Co-op. We are a network of local food producers, social enterprises, and consumers. Our mission is to elevate urban farming cooperation by building community and increasing access to local and affordable healthy food options through education and outreach.
That's awesome. Healthy food is always important.
Definitely.
What got you interested in joining We Arose?
Well, it kind of started off as I would kind of go back to my childhood, just my grandmother instilling the importance of growing your own food. And kind of years later when I started to look for my passion and I realized that I wanted to be in business, but I wanted to make sure that that business had a positive impact on the community. So I found local food. I wanted to be self-sufficient. So I kind of invested in a piece of property in the neighborhood that I grew up in and just tried my hand at growing a few crops. And it started off just us trying to help other community members develop and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So we grew a few crops, kind of gave them away for free to neighbors and friends, and then that started to pick up some steam, and then we started growing commercially.
That's awesome. That sounds like you just really expanded.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing you've done with this organization?
I would say the biggest thing that I'm proud of would be the cooperation with other local producers. When I started, I noticed there was a lack of cooperation amongst local producers. So this cooperative model gives us a chance to work together, share tips, learn from one another, and then kind of collectively go after a mission, which is to serve the underserved neighborhoods in Waterloo.
That's awesome. That's great to hear. We have some photos from We Arose. As they play, can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on in them?
Yeah, for sure. So this right here is our weekly volunteer night. We do this every Wednesday from 5 to 7 at our demonstration farm. You see a bunch of VISTA members. This is actually 2 UNI student groups who came out to volunteer with us. So this is a weekly activity from May through October every Wednesday night. This right here is the back part of our plot. You see a bunch of leafy greens. This photo here is a part of our home delivery program. If you live in the 4th Ward of Waterloo, you're able to get free delivery through our bike program. This is at one of our cooperative farms. That's me harvesting greens. We also put together a community bike ride program, which is designed to encourage beginners and casual riders to get active and be included in organized rides. This is a sign at our mobile produce stand, which is every Tuesday and Friday at Jubilee United Methodist Church from 3 to 6 p.m.
That's awesome. Bike riding is also healthy and better for the environment.
Definitely.
So I think that's pretty awesome you do that. So what have you learned from the people that you work with?
Well, I think they've kind of helped me become a better leader, first and foremost. I started off as a one-man band, so to now have employees and other farmers that I'm working with, it's important for me to lead and galvanize the troop and make sure that we're all understanding what the goal and mission is and all moving towards that. So I would say them just kind of helping me fine-tune my skills and become a better leader.
Being a better leader is always good and helps things run smoothly. So why do you think environmental science is so important?
Environmental science, I think from the environmental standpoint of how we look at it, is really just being very in tune with how we take care of the land. Land stewardship is big for us. We do things like a no-till operation, which is us trying to minimize the disturbance to the soil to make sure we leave the soil better than what we found it. It also has several health impacts, and it impacts everyone from various neighborhoods and communities. So it's important for us to be mindful about how we go about our operation and making sure that we put environment first.
I don't always think of how much affecting the soil can make such a big difference.
Definitely.
Meg, you have also studied environmental science. Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I'm just in accord with everything that Daquan is saying. It's so important for us going into the future with an increasingly unstable climate to better find ways to continue to feed our people and our communities. And I feel that urban farming and cooperative ventures between people who do engage in urban farming is a very important piece of the puzzle, and it's something that in general anyone can do, whether it's cans on your windowsill, a tiny strip between you and the street, or in co-op gardens, say it at church or schools, or if you're lucky enough to be a landowner and have the space to have like an acre garden. Right. All of those things do wonders in numbers to reduce the amount of fuel that's spent to bring in produce from out of state or even out of the country. So that further lowers your carbon footprint.
That's awesome. I've never thought about growing my own garden, but it's a great idea. Going off of that, Daquan, how can people get more involved with your organization?
So the first thing I would encourage you to do is like and follow us on social media at We Arose Co-op. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the 2 main platforms that we use. You can visit our website at www.wearosecoop.com. It will list out our public calendar, all of our events, give you an opportunity to sign up for our weekly volunteer night. And you can also support us through our mobile produce stand, our home delivery program, and when we're set up at the farmers markets in downtown Waterloo.
Those sound like great ideas and great ways to get involved. So thank you. And now it's time for our second edition of Roomie Rumble.
I'm Dr. Pepper, and this is Roomie Rumble. Today, we are bringing you Jacob and Luke, two roommates living in the dorms on the UNI campus. We've got some calls in that seems like it's pretty serious stuff with parental visits to bail them out of jail. Let's give a warm welcome. Alright. Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. Things seem to be pretty serious. Jacob, can you tell us kind of what's going on?
Well, first of all, he called my mom because I didn't go to class on the first day.
Well, I wouldn't have called your mom if you didn't swipe right on my mom on Tinder.
All right, let's settle down. Okay, so deep breaths. Let's think about the good memories. Any good memories that come to mind?
Well, there was that one time we snuck up on the Campanile and played music.
That was a good night, wasn't it?
See, we got some good memories going on.
I mean, it was a pretty good night until you took home my best friend.
It's not my fault she's into me. And it's not like I took your girlfriend home or anything.
It's not my fault she doesn't want to be with someone as selfish as you.
Selfish? Selfish? You're calling me selfish? Why don't you tell everyone how you conveniently always take the last of everything?
All right, let's calm down. Let's let Luke explain here.
You're such a child, man. I mean, if I'm hungry and it's there, I don't check to see if it's the last one.
Exactly. You don't care. You don't even think about anything. You're the selfish one.
I'm sorry, man. I've been being a jerk. I just miss times like they used to be before we got into this never-ending war.
I'm sorry, man, too. I don't know what's gotten into us. Friends?
Guys, I think we did it on Ruby Rumble. We're doing it. I get commission if you guys are actually settled. This is great.
Man.
Dude, I'm sorry too.
This is awesome.
Wait, are you texting my mom? You little... I'm so tired of it! It's all about you! No. Okay. You told us to stop. We have to stop now.
We have to stop.
I get paid commission here.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it on Ruby Rumble today, guys. We solved the case.
And now it's time for another important public service announcement.
In 4 days. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children. She didn't know what to do.
Did you have a good day at school?
She gave them some broth without any bread.
There you go.
And kissed them all soundly.
Night night. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Well, that is our show for this week. Thank you so much, Katie, Meg, and Daquan for coming in to talk to us today. And thank you to our audience as well. This has been At UNI signing off on our 5th season with Cedar Falls Utility Cable. Thank you, CFU.